When a gang leader confronted Mike Tyson, let's react.
It's gonna be a fight. Tyson, and you know it. You hit me, I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna kill you.
Welcome back to the Big Fight Recap here on BLTV Classic.
So this was he was the gang leader. Steve Harvey. That's mad though.
On today's video, we revisit the infamous two-fight saga between Mike
Tyson
and
though,
Mitch,
I still wouldn't, no matter how much protection I have, I would not want to fight that man right there. He's too good.
On the street, this time in a
especially back in those times as well.
Let's get right to it.
Rivals beyond the ring.
After Tyson's 10-round decision to James Quick Tillis in 1986, the invincibility aura from Kid Dynamite took a slight knock as the two heavyweights battled out a much closer fight than the
I think he was a teenager back in those days as well. It's crazy.
Are you that the knockout string is over?
Not at all. If anything, I feel relieved and I'm confident.
That was a bad question. How do you feel like the knockout punch is over or whatnot? How would you ask that question?
It was Tyson's first time going the distance, as he had finished his previous 19 opponents all inside the opening 2 or 3 rounds. That gave some of the other heavyweight contenders an incentive to catch this teenage dynamo early.
He was literally a teenager.
The highest possible payday,
and these are grown men. That's how good he was. Like, it's crazy.
Point blank. Michelle Tyson. He's a I'm gonna knock him out.
Oh,
Mitch
damn.
Blood Green was one of the first fighters to utilize the new
Mitch
age
Blood
digital
Green.
camcorders to get
So he's
his
a
message
blood.
out there to boxing fans.
I assume anyway.
Feast your eyes on a real heavyweight.
There was no social media in those days, but local news stations and televised sports networks such as HBO would air the clips during a broadcast to gauge the fans' reaction.
See, he was a boxer as well, it's mad.
My name is Mitch Blood Green. Now you heard my fight. Watch my smoke.
Probably due to audio compression over time, but I can honestly say I have difficulty understanding what Mitch Green is saying.
That's funny.
Two clear things were the muscle flexing and homophobic slurs, and bizarrely enough, as
so
far as my
homo-
research suggests,
How
this
can
was
I
enough
be
to land him a shot
homophobic?
at the hottest prospect in world boxing.
Hey.
Growing up
to
on
the
the tough
D,
streets
to
of
the
Detroit,
to the
Mitch Green was a
Izzo.
prominent player in 1970s New York gang warfare. By the age of 17,
He was a gang leader.
lose his life in
Smart.
a bizarre Western-style quick-draw shootout, not long before being shot twice himself, fortunately escaping with non-fatal injuries. Green tried to escape gang life by
Shot
joining
twice.
a UBA boxing gym in New York. But by this time, his ties to the street
Many
were too
men.
pronounced, as he was now hailed the king of New York street gangs by the NYPD for his...
Oh, so he was like the boss of them. He was like the king, the boss.
role as gang leader in the Deadly Bloods crew.
Gang leader.
Things slowly started to change for Mitch as his reputation as a gang leader was exceeded by that of a talented amateur boxer. The muscular 6'5" big man that was racking up
6'5"
copious tournament
muscular.
success, including several New York Golden Gloves.
From the Bronx, New York, undefeated in 5.
Oh, he's from the Bronx, from the X.
Green took to the
Smart.
professional in 1980 and quickly started racking up wins over journeyman and fringe contenders such as Joe Cummings. Champion in waiting
Uppercut.
Trevor Burbick became the first man to beat Green in 1985, where Mitch made a good account of himself, only losing by majority decision. Both Tyson and Green were on the fringe of a world title shot, so regardless of the antics, the two were on a likely collision course. The trash talk from Green just helped build more interest in the fight, which in turn certainly struck a chord with Tyson, who opened...
Look at those eyes. Fair play to the people that have gone to the ring with this man right here, because, boy, it's a one scary guy, man.
Mother effer.
Mother effer. What do you say it like that?
No robe, no socks. He says it makes
Look at this guy sweating, look.
Makes him feel like a gladiator.
Tyson met Green for the
Guy's
first time
scary,
in
like.
1986
Hell.
at Madison Square Garden. It was Tyson's first match at a prestigious boxing venue and also the first to be covered by a large television network. Yet,
Oh,
the
shit.
occasion didn't change the traditional no robe, no socks attire. He was all business and had a personal vendetta to settle with the now not-so-confident-looking...
Like, you know, he was going heavy on those pads. Like, his trainers, I feel very bad for them.
So much a factor.
Very bad for them, for those trainers. I have to go through them. Let's go see
Double
them.
up. He just was a little
Okay.
bit lazy,
Ooh.
especially in the later rounds. So we'll see what he does about that against Mitch Green.
Always aggressive, right in front of his man. Now we see some head
He was decent, but you can tell he's scared, though.
There's the left hook I was talking about.
He did draw a warning from Luis Rivera, the referee, about holding. Green's in trouble.
Oh, that shit will hurt.
Good left hand by Tyson.
Everyone has a plan until they get their mouthguard punched out of the ring in the first round. While
Damn.
Green had all the physical advantages, Tyson's supreme boxing skills and speed negated the gap in size and weight, backing up Green from the opening bell, slipping and countering, forcing the much bigger man into survival mode from the word go.
Big right hand against Tillis. And what a shot. That is an awesome
Mouthguard came
Tyson
out
punched out
again.
Green's mouthguard again in the third, whereafter he started mocking his opponent for having a wide, gulping mouth, stalking him across the ring, landing fierce single.
He's crazy. Look at the way he's just dodging it. Oh my god. Yo.
Mitch throws his punch.
Another big left hook.
Hey, Tyson, there, good uppercut. He has to take a standing veteran. Another couple body shots. Well,
And these guys are big, like 6'5".
Tyson's smiling, but see, Green has those fast hands.
The fight became so routine by the closing stages, the crowd knew they were witnessing a foregone conclusion. Tyson himself appeared to have his mind elsewhere as he bizarrely kissed his trainer, Kevin Rooney, while he was trying to deliver him intricate strategies and details regarding the fight.
Well, Kevin Rooney is in there and just jabbering away 100 miles a minute. Mike Tyson leaned over and just kissed him.
Tyson closed the show, trying to score the knockout, but Green's disinclination to engage allowed him to grab and clinch his way to safety, resulting in him losing 9
Getting
out
his
of 10 of
ass
the rounds
beat.
on every
9 out of 10. Whacked him. Because I was beat.
That I was gonna win this fight so easy because of his style. He's a dang tough opponent, and he took some fairly decent.
Not even a scratch on him. Fair play to the guy getting in the ring with this animal right here.
And I didn't try for the knockout, and I used a great deal of discipline in there, not knocking him out.
Tyson claimed he carried Green
Even
down
wanted
distance
discipline.
on purpose to punish him.
Did it
for
on
as long as
purpose.
possible. And whether it was true or not, Green's personal pride was hurt, and he was willing to do whatever it took to restore a sliver of respect amongst his peers. Green
'Cause he's a
retired
gang
from
leader,
boxing
so-
after the Tyson loss and returned to the street to earn a living from selling drugs. He always planned to one
Why,
day get Tyson
man?
back in the ring, but as his years of inactivity ensued, Tyson progressed to one of the most dominant heavyweight champions of all time, undefeated and undisputed. The days of fighting lingering contenders such as Mitch Green.
Yeah, he was way gone. Like Tyson, way gone.
It wasn't until a couple of years after their fight that the two would meet again, this time
Oh,
in
shit.
Green's element, the street.
Okay.
In the early
Okay.
hours of August 23rd, 1988,
Happened.
Mitch Green got wind that Tyson was shopping at a local clothing store close by to where he ran things on the street. Tyson had traveled a fair distance to pick up a luxury leather jacket handmade by one of his friends over at Dapper Dan's.
Okay, what
As
happened
Tyson
then?
was chilling in the store with his
Say it.
entourage, Mitch Green burst through the door on his own, high on angel dust, demanding Tyson either give him a rematch or empty his pockets right there on the spot. Tyson,
Oh,
of
shit.
course, no stranger to altercations on the street, dragged Mitch Green outside and pummeled him to the ground multiple times.
Fuck.
Spectators said that the fight was short, violent, and very one-sided. In fact, it was no longer than 15 to 20 seconds, but that's long
Damn.
enough for the heavyweight champion to
Oh my god, guys' eyes. Oh my god.
inflict severe damage.
Don't- oh
There is
my
no footage
God.
of the fight, regardless of the clickbait you see on YouTube, but there were many accounts of what happened that all aligned, all except Green's account, where he claimed Tyson sucker punched him and ran.
Who threw the first punch here?
He did. He sucker punched me because he's with his friends, you know. And when he
Shit.
hit me, and I said I couldn't get chance when he gets
How, like,
up,
his
I
respect,
walked,
all that,
like,
is definitely
holding
gone.
me, you know, holding me like so he could get away from me. So he get away, and he ran from me.
Green was certain the Tyson scuffle, which became
Like, his
mainstream
eyes
news
was
around the
literally
world, would add enough
closed,
public
like-
intrigue to get his rival back in the ring. But Mitch had already burnt his bridges among the promoters in the sport, with his violent threats to Don King in the past already shadow banning him from ever earning any serious money in the ring again. After Green's failed attempts to get the rematch with Tyson, he filed a civil lawsuit for $20 million due to the injuries he suffered during their fight. The former
20
gatekeeper
million.
came away with one small W to coincide with a long list of L's, winning the case and being awarded $45,000, close to what his purse was during their professional fight in 1986.
Yeah, I remember seeing Mitch Green's eye after that. It was like, he broke his socket. Broke the eye socket, yeah.
Eye socket.
Yeah. The eye socket. I'm like, oh, you gotta hit really hard to do some like that, right?
Green returned to the ring 7 years later, but at that point he was a shell of his former self and was beaten by journeymen with losing records until he hung him up for good in 2005. As of 2022, Green is still a large-as-life character, but now employs his energy into his love of Christianity. He still has a gripe with
respect,
Tyson,
respect.
but I think it's fair to say the two have now moved on. And whenever the topic is brought up today, they both make light of their infamous 30-year feud.
That didn't work. The boy scared to death. After we had the street fight, the boy scared to death.
Oh, wait a minute. Didn't y'all have a street fight, Mitch?
For the ring, for the street. Thinking the man would do something about it. He wouldn't do nothing. Oh, man, he freaked me out.
Did you know that actually Tyson and Sal are good friends and he comes to the show? He knew, look.
That respect, though. He came. It was right there.
See that?
Respect. Look, that's why you can't mess with Mike Tyson. Broke his eye socket 1 punch. That is crazy. Personally, I won't let that happen to me, but that's just me.